take us through how this happened?
Yeah, played 12 years in the NFL, and it's a lot of football. Contract expired in Carolina. It felt like the right time to move on, and I was coming off a couple injuries. Felt like I was slowing down, and then I sort of made the announcement to everyone in Carolina, including my teammates and coaches, that this was probably going to be the last one, and sort of forced myself to enjoy my time there and really soak it all in, and not take for granted how lucky I've been to play that long and play around so many great players and be around so many great coaches and people, and I'm so grateful for my time there, and so that we had that season, and moved back to California with my family. Started living the beach life a little bit, getting ingrained back in the community where I grew up, and March came around, and I just started getting the itch again, and it just was such a to say it's done and make that such a definitive thing. It was so finite, and I had a hard time moving on. I had a hard time turning the page. I think most players go through this, but especially after coming off 2018, healthy, feeling great, feeling spry again. I just felt like I had more football, and by the time I sort of came around to collecting my thoughts and my feelings about it, it was already too late in Carolina. They moved on, and listen, the Panthers got a great player in Matt Paradis, so I'm excited for that group. I think I couldn't think of anybody better to take over that role, and it's an upgrade actually in a lot of ways for them. So they got the better end of that deal, and I'm just really, really excited that the timing of this worked out, and that Joe reached out to my agent, and I had a long conversation with Tom about this, and honestly, at the time, my plan was really I was going to start working out again the only way I really know how to work out, which is train for a football season, and that helped sort of get the bug back again and wanting to play, and the plan was I was going to maybe stay ready and see if there was an opportunity somewhere where I could fill in, and the opportunity came here in New York, and I just got really excited, and Joe and my agent were talking, and at one point I got to get on the phone and talk with Joe, and I just really liked what he had to say, and we talked a lot about offensive line play, obviously, we talked about the teams I've been on in Carolina, and the teams he'd been on in Philly and Baltimore, and what we felt. We talked a lot about what made a winning team, and what I told Joe was the best teams I've been on had a really good balance of young experience and old experience, and so we both felt strongly that I could help out in that regards, that I could bring some of my experience here and help out in a few different facets. So there's a lot of people mad at me in Carolina right now, rightfully so. But I love that place. I heard some rumblings that something happened with me in the organization, and none of that's true. I have nothing but great things to say about all the people that work there, and I'm so grateful for my time, especially with the current staff there, Coach Ron Rivera, and now the new owner, Mr. Tepper, and I love all those guys there, and they're gonna have a great squad, and so I'll be keeping an eye on them during the season.
You mentioned living the beach life, and then you mentioned starting to get back in shape. What was the timeline for those two things? How did that kind of come about? When did you start kind of getting back in shape and treating this like it was a thing that was going to happen?
Yeah, well, every off season that I was in Carolina, I'd go back to California. That's where I would train, and so where I moved is where I would stay every off season, and so I train at a place called the Yard in Hermosa Beach with my trainer Troll, and so that's what we did when I went back there. We just trained the same way, and as I continued to train, I got the bug more and more, and got the and just didn't feel like I was quite done yet. So that in and of itself was a big part of it. And then I talked to a lot of my former teammates, guys I played with a long time. Jake Delhomme was somebody I spoke with a bunch about it. And there was a lot of people on my way out who were telling me I shouldn't stop playing, so that stuck with me in my head. You know, Donnie Warren, great football player, played for the Redskins a long time. He was somebody, he was the last guy I talked to on my way out of the stadium. I gave him a hug, and he just looked at me and wouldn't let my arm go, and he's just like, "What are you doing? Why are you not playing anymore?" And so that's been ringing in my head for a while now.
So what kind of shape are you in, and how long do you think it'll take you to get into football shape?
Physical shape, I'm in pretty good shape. I started lifting again in March, April, and then I started running end of May, early June. And then I went down to my old stomping grounds at SC and started running around at 6 a.m. with some of those young kids and trying to keep up with them. So in shape, yeah, I feel like I'm in great shape. Football shape, I'm gonna need a little bit of time for that. So it's been a minute since I've run around, doing football drills, and that's a different kind of shape. Hitting, obviously, those stressors are a lot different than doing sprints.
Are you at your playing weight, or do you need to gain a little bit more? Because it seemed like when you retired, you were losing pounds.
Yeah, I got down to about 260, and then we just weighed in right now at 297. So.
Is that what you want to play at?
Yeah, that's what I've been about 295 my whole career, so that's about my playing weight. I'm one of the more undersized guys.
Was Joe persuasive, or did he have to be persuasive?
He was persuasive because I was still trying to collect my thoughts about the whole thing, and it wasn't like, okay, I'm ready to go, who's going to call me? It was, maybe I still want to do this. And so when I talked to Joe, we had a long conversation about it. I think he wanted to figure out where my mindset was, and so yeah, we had a few conversations over the course of a few weeks, and then it started getting serious, and then even during that time, I don't know why, I just felt the need to get the blessing of a lot of different people. So I called a lot of my former teammates in Carolina. I called Coach Rivera. I called John Matsko. I talked to Jordan Gross, who I played with a long time. I don't know why, I just needed to talk to all these guys. Greg Olson, Christian McCaffrey, Luke Kuechly, even the athletic trainers over in Carolina, Ryan Vermillion. I even thought about calling Nick Mangold, because I've known Nick a long time. So that was kind of weird. And I don't know why I felt like I needed his blessing, but I decided not to call him because there was a 1% chance he was going to Ric Flair me and tell me that he did not approve. So I decided not to call him. But I've been talking with Nick for the last week now, and he's been so great. So big shoes to fill around here.
Take a couple more.
You, obviously, I don't know if you didn't play with him, but you know a little bit about Sam Darnold being from USC. I mean, what's your thought about him? How much did him kind of be in the quarterback?
I mean, yeah, he's a big reason for me being here. I've been a fan of Sam since watching him at SC, and Sam and I know each other a little bit. We know we've talked in passing in California here. And and so yeah, I got excited the opportunity to come and work with him, and I think obviously, given my experience, I've seen a lot of stuff, especially Greg Williams. God, I hate that guy. I hate Greg Williams. He's one of those coaches, though, guys that he's on their team, they love him. So, but God, I hate playing against Greg Williams. So, anyways, I'm incredibly grateful. My family's incredibly grateful to Christopher Johnson and Adam Gase and Joe Douglas, and I look forward to getting after it and getting back into it, and just grateful for the opportunity live the dream a little bit longer. I've been playing football since I was 8 years old, so you can imagine how hard it is to say you're done and walk away. I also want to apologize to anybody publicly or behind closed doors that I criticized for retiring and then coming back. I totally understand it now. I totally get it. So I'm here to compete. I'm here to play hard. I got some good football left in me, and hope I don't let you guys down.
What were you doing? What were your career plans? What were your